Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really zeroing in on a specific piece of the government contracting puzzle.
Yeah, we're looking at some tech platforms designed to help out in the GovCon space based on the source material you sent over.
Exactly. We've got a good stack of sources here, all focused on comparing two key players, GovDash and GovTribe.
And our mission today, sticking strictly to these sources,
Is basically to unpack what makes them different, what they offer, who they're for.
right, how their features compare, especially their AI angles, which seem quite distinct according to the material.
And pricing, too, how that fits into their whole strategy.
It's about getting you a clear snapshot
Yeah.
based just on this info provided,
Because navigating GovCon, well, it takes the right tools, doesn't it?
for sure, whether you're just starting or trying to grow. And these sources really lay out two different approaches, two philosophies.
Okay, let's dive into what these sources tell us.
All right. So starting with the backgrounds presented in the material, GovTribe looks like the more established one.
Yeah, founded back in 2012, is that right?
That's what the sources say. 2012, by former government contractors themselves, based in Arlington, Virginia.
Okay, so they've got that history, roots in the community.
GovDash, on the other hand, comes across as the newer kid on the block.
Founded 2021.
Yep, 2021. And by Y Combinator-trained engineers. So a very different vibe from the start.
Definitely a tech-first origin story there.
And it's interesting how those origins seem to shape their missions, as described in the sources.
How so?
Well, GovTribe is explicit about wanting to level the playing field.
Level the playing field, meaning?
They talk about affordable access to data and tools, specifically aiming to cut sales costs for businesses of all sizes. That's a direct point from the source material.
Okay, affordable access and all sizes. Those are key takeaways for GovTribe's mission then.
Exactly. Really emphasizes broad reach. GovDash, though, the sources frame their mission differently.
Right, they call themselves an AI platform for GovCon proposal and BD teams.
Yeah, and a business development force multiplier. It's about blending engineering with contracting know-how.
So their goal seems more targeted, focused on using AI for specific BD and proposal tasks.
That's the impression the sources give. Less about universal access, more about AI-powered efficiency in certain functions.
Okay, so how does that translate into who they're actually built for, according to these sources?
Well, GovTribe, fitting with its mission, is positioned for all sizes,
From solo users just dipping their toes in GovCon.
all the way up to bigger teams, even enterprise clients. The material suggests they're really aiming for wide accessibility.
Makes sense. And GovDash.
The sources say they target companies that are serious about growth and providing value.
Okay, a bit more specific.
Yeah, mentioning roles like government contractors, federal proposal managers, contract managers, BD teams. It kind of hints.
That maybe they lean towards larger, more established contractors.
That's the feeling you get. And we'll see if the pricing details later back that up.
All right, let's dig into the features described in the source material. GovTribe first.
Sure, GovTribe is heavily focused on federal market intelligence. That seems to be their core.
Meaning things like?
Tools for opportunity. Tracking, finding bids across federal, state, local levels, getting notified. Access to award data.
Pulling from places like sam.gov, fpds.gov.
Exactly, those major sources. Plus, pretty robust market research capabilities.
So you can analyze spending, check out competitors, build profiles on agencies, contracting officers, vendors.
Yeah, really understand the landscape. And they mention capture management tools as well.
Sounds quite comprehensive on the data side. Was there anything specific highlighted?
Yes, actually. The sources mention a feature launched in April 2025 called Personas.
Personas, what's that?
It's described as providing enhanced contact info and detailed profiles for over 1 million government buyers and industry people.
Wow, okay. That sounds like it could be really useful for targeted outreach.
Definitely, as a human layer to all that market data.
Okay, so shifting to GovDash. The sources present them more as an all-in-one solution, right? For capture, proposals, contract management.
That's the framing. And they structure their offerings into 3 main clouds, according to the material.
Right. There's the capture cloud for finding opportunities and managing the pipeline.
And the contract cloud for tracking past performance, managing outcomes.
But the proposal cloud, that seems to be a major focus for them, based on the descriptions.
It really does look like their powerhouse.
Yeah.
It's where that AI-first design philosophy the sources talk about seems most evident.
So what does it actually do?
Well, the sources highlight an AI-driven automated compliance matrix.
Okay, automating compliance checks against the solicitation. That's huge.
Yeah, generated from the whole solicitation package, the sources say. It also offers annotated outlines, a solution data tab.
With a suggest answer feature, pulling from your own company data.
Exactly. And writing plans to sort of guide the AI content generation.
The sources even mention aiming for pink-red team-level proposals. That's ambitious for automation.
It implies a high level of quality and review readiness. They also mention collaboration features like data calls.
Asking team members for specific info.
Right. And review assignments, tracking page limits, targets. Oh, and the Microsoft Word integration.
Seamless integration with an AI assistant in Word. That's notable.
Seems like a key feature mentioned in the sources, along with generating custom docs like capability statements.
Anything else stand out for GovDash in the source material?
Security is emphasized. Adherence to NIST 800-171, FedRAMP moderate standards.
Important for government work.
Definitely. And all U.S.-based employees. Signals a focus on meeting those government security bars, which often matters more to larger contractors.
Okay, so let's contrast the AI approaches directly based on these descriptions. GovDash's AI seems very hands-on in the writing process.
Yeah, it appears deeply embedded in the proposal workflow, automating compliance, drafting content within the document creation.
Whereas GovTribe's AI, as described in the sources,
seems more geared towards generating insights from all that data they have. Market research, finding opportunities, spotting trends.
They mention unlimited AI insights in their higher tiers, right?
Correct. So it feels like AI for process automation at GovDash versus AI for data analysis and strategy at GovTribe.
That's a really useful distinction, and it seems to lead right into pricing, which the sources suggest also shows a big difference.
Absolutely. GovDash, according to the material, uses a quote-based model.
Meaning you have to ask for the price?
Yep, submit a form. And they frame it as an investment, less expensive than a lost bid. They do offer a 15-day free trial.
That quote-based approach, plus the ROI framing, it really points towards those larger enterprise clients, doesn't it?
It strongly suggests that, based on the source descriptions, calculating value based on efficiency gains in complex processes.
And GovTribe, completely different model described.
Totally different. Clear, tiered annual plans. Pricing is right there on their site, according to the sources.
Do the sources give examples?
Yeah, they list tiers like Launch Plus at $1,800 a year for individuals starting out, Growth Plus,
that's the most popular one,
described as such,
yeah,
$5,500 a year for teams that includes 5 seats, unlimited AI insights, contact data, and then an enterprise tier that is quote-based.
But crucially, the sources also mention historical pricing, right? Like really accessible entry points.
Yeah, subscriptions starting as low as $60 a month or $720 a year historically suggests a real range designed for that broader accessibility.
That transparency and the potential for lower entry points definitely reinforce that all sizes mission we talked about earlier.
It lines up. And GovTribe also offers a free trial, 14 days on their popular plan, no credit card needed, making it easy to try out, according to their sources.
Okay, so summarizing the unique selling points based purely on the source material, GovDash comes across as truly AI first.
Deeply integrated into proposal writing, things like the Automate Compliance Matrix, the word integration, they aim to automate really time-consuming parts of creating complex proposals.
Potentially speeding things up massively, improving quality.
That seems to be the goal described. And for GovTribe.
Unique aspects highlighted in the sources include being part of the GovExec portfolio.
Which gives them broader context and resources, presumably.
Right. Plus, there's sheer depth in market intelligence from sources like sam.gov, fpds.gov, and features like that new personas tool.
Adding that targeted human element, and of course their whole strategy around accessibility, the transparent tiered pricing, that's a core differentiator according to the sources.
So what for you, the listener, pulling all this together from the sources, it's about strategy.
Exactly. If your biggest headache is the process of writing proposals hitting every requirement, the sheer effort GovDash's AI first focus on automating that workflow.
Especially compliance and content generation within the document.
That might be the compelling angle based on its description. It seems designed to change how proposals get written.
If your main challenge is more upstream, finding opportunities, understanding the market, competitors, connecting with buyers.
And doing that with a tool that has clear pricing, potentially more accessible options for different sized businesses.
Then GovTribe's strengths in market intelligence, data analysis, AI insights, and features like personas might align better strategically. Again, based entirely on what the source material describes.
Yeah, the sources really paint a picture of two strong platforms tackling different key points in the GovCon lifecycle.
With fundamentally different philosophies driving them. one laser-focused on deep AI workflow automation.
The other focused on broad market data, insights, and accessibility.
Okay, so bringing it all together now, we've done a deep dive into the source material comparing GovDash and GovTribe.
We saw GovDash presented as that AI-first platform, heavy on proposal automation, targeting enterprise, quote-based pricing.
Contrasted with GovTribe, described as the market intelligence leader, broad data, insights, accessibility for all sizes, clear tiered pricing, tools like personas.
And understanding these differences, which we've drawn straight from the source material you provided, is really key for you to figure out which tools might fit your needs best.
Yeah, it depends whether you need to streamline proposal writing itself or get that wide view of the market and data-driven strategy.
And, thinking about how both platforms leverage AI based on these sources,
Whether it's for automating workflows or analyzing data.
it does raise an interesting question, doesn't it? Given how AI is increasingly integrated, as described here.
How might the actual definition of essential tools in GovCon change, say, over the next few years?
Right. And what does that evolution mean for businesses trying to compete effectively in that shifting landscape?
Definitely something to chew on as you think about the tools for future success.
Well, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We really encourage you to keep exploring the topics that matter to you.